Hi guys, it's Bryony. Welcome back to my channel. Slightly different background today. I'm in my mum's office in this one corner that is not cluttered up by her harp and all her musical instrument stuff, so we shall try and make this work. But today I'm doing my 26/27 week bump date, and forgive me first of all, because of using this room there is slightly more noise from the road, so you might hear cars going past outside. Really sorry, nothing I can do about that, but hopefully we should be able to get through this video without too many noises distracting us. So let's jump right on into what has been happening in these last 2 weeks. First of all, today is the 1st of December, so happy December for those of you that are celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever celebrations happen in December. Can't believe we're already this close to the end of the year, and given that my baby is due in February next year, it feels like it's getting more and more real the closer this gets. Somehow this month felt like a really big step forwards and like it was really getting closer, so not quite sure why so much, but yeah, that's something I have definitely noticed. So something I forgot to mention in the last bump date actually is that I tried to buy a maternity pillow, and I went for the Dream Genie one, which is kind of like, it has like a gap where your side goes, there's a bit at the back and then a longer tail which you can kind of put between your legs. And I did try it out during the night, but it just wasn't puffy enough for me. Like, I need my hips to be held quite wide, and it's just a little bit too small, so it didn't work for me at bedtime. But I do use it when I'm sitting on the sofa now. I kind of like curl it around me and create a bit of a nest. But yeah, that was a little bit of a fail. So I do have a V pillow, which I've always had because I like to sit up in bed reading stuff or working my laptop. I always had that one behind me, and so I kind of lie on that one, but it's a bit too puffy on my side at night time to use, so I can kind of fold it in half and prop my legs up on it, and that does help. But I've mostly found so far that just using a really puffy pillow and putting that sort of between my legs is the most effective. And some nights I'm okay, and some nights I find that it's a little bit more painful, so not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, so that maternity pillow completely failed, and I've been debating whether or not it's worth investing in the really expensive like BB Hug Me brand, which is like this big long tubular one that a lot of people swear by, but I just can't help feeling that I'm going to be not pregnant for that much longer, and it just feels like such a waste of money. So I think I'm just gonna go through it and see if I can make my way through it, just propping myself up with lots of pillows. But yeah, so that's one thing I did try and it didn't really work, but I have at least found a use for that pillow. And I also bought it secondhand on Facebook Marketplace for £5, so I figured I haven't lost much from trying it out. It wasn't very expensive to me, and thank God I got it secondhand and not brand new, because that would have been £50 down the drain. Something else that has been happening these last 2 weeks is my anxiety has sort of started cropping its head up a bit more. So a lot of the things, I've written them down here. So I'm having times where I'm kind of looking forward to the baby being here, and I'm sort of planning ahead about him arriving and what we're going to do, etc. And then equally times that I'm absolutely terrified and I'm just sort of thinking, what have I done? I think it's the permanence of it. I don't think we talk about this enough, but when you get pregnant, you are no longer just yourself. Like, you are now a mother, and once you're a mother, you're never not a mother again. You kind of have your life before motherhood and your life afterwards, and I think that's what my brain is currently struggling to adjust to. And I guess also feeling like time is now speeding up quite a bit, and I'm getting much closer to actually having the baby, and feeling like I've got the last couple of weeks of it just being me, and kind of really wanting to use them as much as possible for, you know, me time and doing things that I like without having a little one, but also being very aware that I'm not that well with my pregnancy, so I can't do a lot of stuff, which is frustrating. So it's just a big mix of emotions that I've been feeling a lot this week and the last week. And so yeah, that is definitely starting to crop its head up a bit more. Something else, and I think a lot of people are dealing with this regardless of whether you're pregnant or not, but worries about cost of living. I budgeted very carefully when I was planning to go through this and how I was going to manage financially, particularly the early couple of years where I can't really get another job aside from my YouTube and maybe continue fostering, just because I wouldn't be able to afford the childcare in the UK is so expensive. I think we have now moved into like it's the top country in the world for the most expensive childcare compared to salaries. So I don't know, it just that just worries me, thinking about everything, rising cost of living and stuff. I'm quite lucky that my flat is quite modern and it's really well insulated, so heat wise it's not costing, you know, energy wise it's not really costing me that much more, and the government is paying out is helping out this year with, I think it's the equivalent of about £60 a month towards energy bills, which pretty much covers the increase for me. So my energy bills haven't really gone up at all, which I'm very lucky with, partly also because I'm not staying there, so the heating is switched down. But even when I've been staying over there and I've had it on, it's still pretty low. So that was quite good. It was actually lucky that I didn't end up moving house before going through this, because I think if I'd had a bigger property, the thought of like trying to heat that one and the electricity and everything would actually have worried me more. So I'm quite pleased I did stay in my flat to do this and not move beforehand. But yeah, just general cost of living worry. I mean, it's not even anything really specific. It's just like thinking, is this the right time to be bringing a child into the world? Am I doing the right thing? Just all of that, like I said before, is kind of coalescing into a big ball of anxiety for me at the moment. So that's not been fun to deal with. So I have been having less sort of fainting episodes. But one thing I have noticed is I'm pretty sure that whenever I do feel faint, it generally has to do with heat and feeling too warm. So the only other time I had an episode was when I was at yoga, and the room there is really quite warm. So the next time I went, I stayed further towards the back where the door is open, and I definitely felt a lot better with that. And certainly with the colder weather, I think I felt a lot better. But I've genuinely noticed that if the room is warmer, I really need to focus at like taking off layers, and kind of when I go out somewhere, I generally try to have a t-shirt and then a jumper on and then my coat on to go out if it's cold. So I've got like a long layer on, but I have the ability to kind of strip off and get down to a t-shirt if I need to, because if I get hot, I think that's when I tend to go faint really easily, which makes sense because, you know, your blood vessels open up a lot more when you are warm. But that is something I have noticed. And sort of leading on from that, I've also noticed that my body is definitely running at a warmer temperature than usual. So my mum will be saying, oh, it's a bit cold, isn't it? And I'm thinking, no, it's not. Whereas usually I probably would feel the cold. So I think I am running a little bit warmer than normal during this part of pregnancy, but not drastically so. But it's just something I have noticed, that I think I'm a little on the warmer side. So actually, in a way, the colder weather has been good for me with kind of the second half of my second trimester, and as I move towards my third trimester. And finally, something that I hadn't really talked about before, but which has been the case throughout my pregnancy, is that my nails are growing at like the speed of light. This is definitely a pregnancy thing. I've read about it, but it is absolutely true. Like, they just are growing so quickly. So I'm constantly having to clip them and file them, because by the time I've done that, literally about a week or two later, they've completely grown back and they're really long. So that is one thing that I have particularly noticed. So those are all sort of the main symptoms that I've been having really throughout this 26 and 27 week. Interestingly enough, my baby pregnancy app, which reliably tells me my baby's the size of a cauliflower this week at 27 weeks, says I'm in the third trimester now, but the NHS doesn't class you as third trimester until you're 29 weeks, so I'm not classing myself as the third trimester yet. I'll do that when I hit 29 weeks, but it is getting more and more real, I think, the bigger I get, and I definitely am feeling bigger now. And something about getting into the third trimester is quite scary, so I'm quite pleased to put that off a bit longer if I can, even if it's just mentally. But yeah, that is something that I'm aware I think I'm going to struggle a little bit more in this trimester with like the end approaching than I have been in my second. So each trimester I think is just going to have different struggles for me. The first obviously was the nausea and the fatigue and feeling really depressed. Second was a lot of the emotional side, the anxiety, depression, etc. And then this one, we'll see, but I guess also anxiety moving into this bit. But yeah, still feeling pretty okay. Every now and then I'll have a night where I can't really sleep because my sides are aching a bit and I can't quite find a comfy position. He's still moving around a lot. He's a very active baby. I can often feel him kicking. Oh, that's the other thing. At night time, if I lie on my side, it's really weird. I can feel him kicking either side of my belly. Literally like this, just either side. It's the weirdest thing. I'm like, how are you managing that? Have you got your legs in splits or something? Or I guess it's just his hands one side and his feet the other. But really kind of pushing in and out. It's a very odd feeling. So that's something else I've noticed too. Right, without further ado, let's get on and do the bump shot. So here is my belly at 27 weeks with my top on. And if I pull my maternity trousers down. So definitely getting bigger. I definitely feel much bigger, particularly by the evening. My belly feels massive, like the bloating up here that I've had throughout pregnancy. But definitely more baby here now. So yeah. So that's it for my 26/27 week bump date. I hope you've enjoyed watching, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who has been sending stuff through my Amazon baby wish list. I will probably be doing a video kind of showing all the things, the wonderful gifts that I've been given in the next couple of weeks. I just wanted to give it another week or two for any last gifts to kind of come in, and then I will be doing that video. But I have a load of videos to get out before I go on maternity leave a bit later on at the end of January, so definitely going to be working hard up until then. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Do please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye everyone.